Not much backstory. As you can probably guess from the title, I'm epileptic and have seizures. Thankfully, my store was super understanding of my disability and did everything to help me. This is a mixture of what I remember and what I was told by my managers about what happened. There's only one register in the store where you can get cigarettes, lighters, and certain more expensive liquor, etc. And I happened to be the one working that register. Everything was going completely fine with the usual customer banter when an aura hit me, and hit me hard. For those of you that are unfamiliar, an aura is kind of a warning sign before a seizure that you can only feel, but can do nothing about. It could be a funny smell, hallucinations, the feeling of slipping out of reality, a number of different things. Anyway, for me, this time it was the feeling that everything was moving in slow motion. Last thing I remember was scanning a box of golf balls and the customer requesting Marlboro Gold, then feeling frozen in place, which apparently I actually was. I heard this right before I blacked out. Guy, hello? 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 What the hell is wrong with you? I said I wanted a box of Marlboro Gold. Are you even listening to me? I can't believe this. Marlboro Gold. Do you even know what that is? Are you an idiot? And then I was gone. I woke up on the floor surrounded by my managers. One customer was awesome enough to go run and get help. From what I understand, the whole time I was on the floor having a seizure, the customers in line were watching this and actually complaining to the managers helping me about how I must be on drugs, and they still expected to be rung up, despite them trying to explain that I was having a seizure. They were telling the managers to just step over me to get their smokes and lighters for them and to get to the register, then causing a huge scene when they were refused. They said they actually had to radio security to come and shoo people away. It just blows my mind that people can act this way. Look, I'm sorry I'm having a seizure and can't get your cigarettes for you, but I don't exactly have any control over this. I think you'll survive without your smokes and lighter for a few more minutes. Makes me sad that this is the world we live in sometimes. What in the actual heck? Someone passes out on the floor and you don't help them? You want to be served still? What a bunch of pricks. I hope these guys got banned, and I'm so glad OP was okay. Lots of women wear bras. I'd say the majority of women wear them to support their boobs, and to look and feel nice. There's a small minority who also seems to view their bras as magical extra pockets, in which they can store money, their license, their credit cards, and their crystals. Betty Bra comes into the store on a fairly regular basis, usually to complain about how overpriced everything is, while pointedly mentioning the store owner by name, and archly looking at me as though she expects me to fall to my knees and beg for the opportunity to give her a discount because she knows the owner. You and a million others, Betty Bra. Store owner freaks out if I give a refund one day after the 14-day return policy, so no dice on discounts from me. Anyways, today Betty Bra was complaining about the price of our tumbled crystal selection. You know the kind. You could buy a handful of them for $2 at those natural wonder stores in big malls back in the 90s. Our store selection is a little more varied and popular among people that think carrying them around will make them rich, attract their soulmate, get them a job, or keep evil energy away from them. Some of these people may possibly be crows in disguise. I don't put anything past customers these days. So Betty Bra is walking around the tables with a selection of tumbled crystals in their various boxes and complaining. Betty Bra, why does store owner price these so high? I can buy the same ones cheaper at another new age store. No idea, ma'am. I have nothing to do with the purchasing or pricing. And thinking, of course, why don't you just go to another new age store and buy them there? And why is this rose quartz so much more expensive than this one? One is a small tumbled crystal and the other is a larger natural crystal. It's the same type of stone. She puts them down and stops up to the counter with a look in her eye. I smile blandly. She plants her hands on the counter and leans over to regard me closely. So you know a lot about crystals, huh? Yes. As long as it has nothing to do with their energies, I know enough. Everything else I Google. Betty Bra is satisfied with the answer, straightens up, and reaches down the front of her shirt and begins fumbling around in her bra. I say nothing. Betty Bra is a larger woman, So this act is taking a lot of uncomfortable contorting and grunting and flesh jiggling, and I suddenly decide I need to check the store's email. Oh look, a sale on plates that energize food. Betty Bra finally clears her throat, and I reluctantly note that she's holding her hand out to me, fingers extended, palm open. In the center of her palm are several tumbled crystals. Her palm, fingers, and crystals are suspiciously moist. I bought these at another New Age store last week. I nod. But they're not giving off any energy. It's only been a week. Sometimes it takes time for the vibrations from you and the crystals to get used to each other. Side note, I'm making it up as I go along. Betty Bra looks thoughtful, but keeps her hands out. My own hands are firmly on the computer keyboard. Maybe, but I'd appreciate it if you tried them out. Store owner wouldn't have hired you if you weren't sensitive to energy. The store owner hired me because I lied my butt off about my metaphysical and otherworldly experiences. Because I know my way around computers and programs and graphic design, and other employees have an average typing speed of 20 words per minute combined. And because I'm a chump for applying for this job in the first place. Betty Bra wants me to touch her boob crystals. Her damp boob crystals. Not just touch them, but feel their energy. I promptly balk. I'm afraid I can't. Betty Bra looks offended. Why not? Oh, so many reasons, Chief. Among them, boob sweat still glistening on the crystals beneath the fluorescent lights. I'm not comfortable touching another person's crystals, especially when they've been so close to you. The, energy, you see, it'll mess up my own. Betty Bra stares blankly at me for a moment, then her eyes widen. Oh my goodness, you're an empath, aren't you? I completely understand. I'm one too, and I can't stand eating out because of all the collected energies in the silverware. It really gives me indigestion, especially at the Olive Garden since it's right by the senior home. All the energies from those old folks can really mess up your system. I nod understandingly. Whatever it takes to not touch sweaty boob crystals. She shoves the boob crystals back into her bra like someone stuffing a turkey for Thanksgiving. Her hand, wrist, and most of her forearm vanishes down the front of her shirt until only her elbow is visible. The contortions and grunting resume, and once more I find myself completely absorbed in reading about the benefits of charging an apple with positive energy from a crystal plate. Ions are mentioned a lot. Some higher retail power was with me, because Betty Bra, per her complaining about prices, wasn't interested in buying anything, and left without touching anything with her boob-moistened fingers. But just to be on the safe side, I took the Lysol and spent a good half hour wiping down everything Betty Bra had potentially touched, because you just never know when someone has been feeling up their boob crystals before going shopping. And that, my friends, is the story of Betty Bra. Don't mess with her and her boob crystals. I mean, you don't want to really mess up your energies anyway, do you? Back in high school, I was part of a team that helped set up a brand new hardware store in my small town. The construction of the store was about 90% finished. We were in the process of setting up and stocking shelves, creating aisleways, and generally planning out the layout of the store. During this time, only about half of the light fixtures were ever running at a time in order to save money during construction. Even though there were checkout lanes constructed, the registers were not yet installed. The only way to enter the building was to manually push open the automatic sliding glass doors in the front of the store. Nobody was required to wear any sort of store uniform. Absolutely nothing about the appearance of this store would hint that we were open for business. So one day I'm stocking some shelves in the home and garden department and I'm approached by a lady I didn't recognize. We'll refer to this lady as OL for Oblivious Lady. She was carrying a few boxes of stuff in her arms because we had no carts yet. Oblivious Lady: where's the camping section? Figuring she was just another new employee, I made a small introduction before pointing her to the general location of our camping section. Do you mind walking with me? I get lost easily. In hindsight, this should have been my first clue something wasn't right. On the way there, I noticed that the boxes she was carrying did not belong in the camping section. Me: actually, I think the hot plates belong in the appliance section. Yeah, that's where I got it from. Okay, why are you moving it to the camping section? I'm not. I need this stuff for a camping trip. Is manager okay with that? Who's that? Wait, you work here, right? No, I'm shopping for stuff for my camping trip. We're not open for business yet, but I need this stuff. I don't think you understand. We have no way to sell any of this stuff to you. The grand opening isn't for another week. I've been shopping around for a half hour and no one told me you weren't open. I need this stuff and you're telling me I can't purchase it? That's correct. How rude. Hold on, let me get my manager. I grab my manager from his office and tell him the story. We find the lady in the camping section pulling items off the barely stocked shelf. Manager, I'm sorry ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The store isn't open for business yet and you're trespassing on our property. I'm just trying to buy stuff for my camping trip. We finally had to walk her to the front of the store and point out that the registers were not even installed. Then we walked her to the sliding glass doors, pushed them open, and told her to have a nice day. That's it for today, guys. Real quick, I really enjoy making these videos, and only you can help me continue to do it. A simple thumbs up and comment goes a long way and helps out big time. So with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow.